John Vandermosten is our in-house senior life science analyst, although he has not committed to that, but I just committed to it on national TV.
Nice.
So now John's committed completely. Hey, John, first of all, thanks for, oh, by the way, have you seen the LinkedIn, this is his LinkedIn, or his Twitter X thing. Have you seen the reels that take songs from the 80s and 90s that you can't understand the words, but they put people's names from LinkedIn? It's called LinkedIn Lyrics.
Oh my gosh.
You need
Yes,
to, hey,
funny.
Chris Castillo, our producer, can you look up LinkedIn Lyrics for me?
That's very funny.
And we're going to play one at the end of here. But it's amazing
Yeah.
how LinkedIn Lyrics works. John Vandermosten was talking about the biggest life sciences conference of the year last year, JP Morgan. But, buddy, it's been a long time since we have even talked about IPOs in the stock market. I mean, I'll tell you, I remember when the show first started back in, it was actually 1995 or 1993 on radio. And there was 19 IPOs a month back there prior to the dot-com bubble. Now, when I hear, you said the word, you and I were talking off air, and I got a text from you about IPOs. I thought, do they still do that? Well, we started this, companies are still going public with an IPO. Talk about what's happening in the biotech universe with IPOs.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd bring it up because it's an indicator of how things are going in the biotech world. You know, our investors willing to spend some money to bring new companies to the public markets. And if you recall, you know, we had a lot of IPOs, well over 125 plus, I think, in 2020 and 2021. But after that, it really fell off. And I think I was looking at some stats. I think there were 12 in 2023 and 17 last year in the biotech space. So that's pretty weak. None so far this year. But what I will say is that there have been a number of filings for new biotech IPOs so far this year, and 5 that I've seen. A lot of them are in California, up in the Bay Area, and one of the areas that's getting a lot of focus right now is the obesity GLP-1 agonist space. So that's
let me ask you something about that, because when Mary brought this to light about a year and a half ago, about this GLP-1 thing, the people were advertising for Wegovy, right? You saw it on TV. Mm-hmm. Then you saw a thing called Saxenda. Then you saw another one. There was a couple brands.
Yep.
But now we're seeing, and you can look no further than social media, where compounding pharmacies are now saying, you know, because there was a big, apparently it works so well, that there was a big shortage where people would get prescribed by their doctor, but they couldn't get it.
Right.
And now suddenly there's these compounding pharmacies. Is that affecting the IPO market for some of those, for that area, or is it helping?
Well, I think that the new products in development are trying to solve some of the shortcomings of Wegovy and all the semaglutide variants that are out there. I mean, there's a few different ways that they're trying to do this. One is by providing an oral option. You know, right now it's injected, right, which is kind of inconvenient.
You get a shot?
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll become Fat Bastard from the movie with Mike Myers. I'm not, listen, if there's a shot involved, I don't even get my blood taken anymore.
You don't like needles?
Yeah, no.
No needles?
A lot of people don't like shots.
Only for heroin when we do a show, but
Right.
I'm not doing needles. No. If I can sniff it, if I can drink it, if I can pill it, I'll do that. You know.
John, you should be keep your eye out for my IPO for Sofata. It's going to hit the market.
Sofata.
Yeah.
Is that a GLP-2?
It's
with the success of these though, and we're talking about IPOs, are there a lot of companies now trying to throw their hat in the ring and come out with their dietary, I guess for lack of a better term,
which is a great point, because whoever's making these Wegovys, they can spin that off into its own company, how popular they are at this point.
That's true. But I mean, you probably have heard about, you know, not only is there the injection thing, but there's also the muscle wasting, the sarcopenia, which is also an issue. And there's a few other issues.
Wait. Just because you're a bio geek and we have no idea what you're talking about, that means that people, like, one of the things that they're saying a
side effect?
Side effect is you lose muscle mass if you're not actively exercising.
Exactly.
If you're just a fatty and you take this and you get skinnier, now you're skinny fat, you weigh less, but your muscles are,
because you're not lifting so much weight anymore, so you're not building up that muscle.
Yeah, that's why they say, well, you don't snore as much, it's much better for that, and your back's better. Well, it's because you're less
right.
Because you know, for a while there, Mike and I were going to just sink to the center of the earth into the mantle. And what happened to those guys? Well, they just got so big that they went in.
They fell into themselves.
And every
like a
once
black
in a
hole.
while,
They're in the magma.
and now they're in the, and every once in a while with a stiff breeze, you can just smell Mike.
We're one of
smelling
the tectonic
being
plates.
barbecued out there for lunch. So, but that's a great point, though. Are they? Because this is the equivalent in my mind. Because if you think in terms of disease, okay, you think polio vaccine, you think cures for cancer. This is so top of mind to people in terms of what they look like, how they feel about themselves, the incidence of obesity and heart disease. This is a whole game changer, and it needs to be really addressed like you're talking about here, because this is not just a fad thing. It's working for people, apparently, not without side effects, but on an economic model, I got to believe that there's a real opportunity here as investors if these things go forward. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think so as well. They're trying to, as I mentioned, they're trying to address some of the shortcomings. The main things being get an oral version, address the muscle wasting. Also, longer acting is another approach. These are generally taken every 2 weeks, so if you could take it once a month, at least for the shot anyway, that makes it a bit easier. So there's a whole host of things that that can be done to address that, and then also some of these drugs that are already approved, they may address other things too. And I think we talked about this on a previous show, but investors seem to be willing to put money towards that. I think each of the two companies, let me remind myself, one of them is called Aardvark Therapeutics, and the other one is called Metsera. And both of those guys are looking for a couple $100 million to advance their candidates in later stage trials.
John, thanks so much as usual. 100% educational and give us some opportunities. John Vandermosten there. You can go at VanJohn10 to find him on X.